Hi, I'm Brianna, and in addition to being an author, I'm also a massive Disney fan. I especially love sailing with Disney Cruise Line. My family and I first sailed with DCL back in 2019, and at the time, resources about sailing as a concierge guest were pretty limited. If you're anything like me, you like knowing what to expect and deciding if concierge is worth the price. So I made this series to help you better understand what's included with concierge so you can make an informed decision about whether or not concierge is right for you. Let's get started. I don't know about you, but embarkation kind of stresses me out. I like to know exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing and when it needs to be done. Hopefully, this video will help reduce your stress when it comes to embarkation day as a Disney Cruise Line concierge guest. Both Port Canaveral, Disney Cruise Line's main terminal in eastern Florida, and Port Everglades, the terminal in Fort Lauderdale, have dedicated concierge lounges. After you take the escalators up at Port Canaveral, you will be met by a cast member who will direct you to the concierge waiting area. They will identify you by your gold sticker, so keep the sticker on. This space can only be accessed by cast members and concierge guests, so you will either need a cast member to let you in or use your Magic Band Plus since you won't have your Key to the World card just yet. The space in Port Canaveral includes cushioned seating, fantastic views of the ship, and access to an outdoor area that's great for photos. There's also a second, larger waiting area in the back of the terminal with complimentary bottled water and soda. The concierge lounge at Port Canaveral does not have private restrooms. After you go through security at Port Everglades, you'll be met by a cast member who will walk you to the concierge waiting area. Just like in Port Canaveral, they will identify you by your gold sticker, so keep that sticker on. The lounge is on the second floor, overlooking the main waiting area at the terminal. You'll enter through the Mickey ears and go up the escalator. The lounge is on the left, just beside where you board the ship. There's lots of cushioned seating, great views of the ship, private restrooms, and bottled water and canned soda. The waiting area at other ports will vary. Sometimes it's several rows of folding chairs in an alcove or a roped off section of the main terminal waiting area. When I sailed out of New York, we were in a room off to the side with floor to ceiling windows and a great view of the Disney magic. If you arrive prior to boarding commencing, you will hang out in the port's concierge lounge or waiting area. This is a great way to meet other concierge guests. Just before boarding, your ship's concierge team will enter the lounge and introduce themselves to the assembled group. While this is not a one-on-one meeting with your concierge hosts, it is an opportunity to learn their names and faces. They will also wear beige suit jackets, designating them as concierge hosts, so you'll have another visual cue to identify them. This is the moment that you will transition from the shoreside concierge team to your ship's concierge team. Concierge guests are not required to select a port arrival time. You will still need to complete online check-in, which you may do 30 days prior to sailing as long as you are paid in full. The online check-in process is the same for concierge guests as it is for non-concierge guests. However, on the page for selecting a port arrival time, you will not be presented with any options to choose from. This may seem a little odd if you've sailed with Disney before as a non-concierge guest, but I promise the website is working correctly. You may still see pop ups and disclaimers about port arrival times, but you can ignore those since they don't apply to concierge guests. So, if you don't have a port arrival time, when can you go to the port and board the ship? You may arrive at any time once the port opens to go through security and complete check in. If you arrive before boarding starts, you will wait in the concierge waiting area at the terminal. Once boarding commences, the ship's concierge host will come to the waiting area to collect concierge guests and invite them to board. One perk with this is that you can maximize your time on the ship by being some of the first guests on board. As a concierge guest, you may board at any time once boarding commences. This is another great perk. Let's say boarding begins at 11 a.m. and you arrive at noon. You don't have to wait to board. You will be immediately invited to board the ship. Please keep in mind that the all aboard time for embarkation day is 3 p.m. One thing to keep in mind is that if you're sailing out of Port Canaveral, concierge guests do not enter the gangway via the Mickey Arch. There's a door from the concierge waiting area directly to the gangway, and the ship's concierge team will direct you through that door. So if you want a photo of the arch, be sure to get it prior to boarding. Now, you'll use the same gangway as everyone else, and your family will still be announced as you board the ship. That part's the same. It's just walking through the arch that's different. Once you board the ship, you will be invited to the concierge embarkation lunch. The location of this lunch has changed over time. In 2019, we were at Rapunzel's on the Magic. Now, the non concierge sit down embarkation lunches there, and concierge guests go to Lumiere's. So it's possible the lunch locations could change again. Here are the locations for the concierge embarkation day lunch as of summer 2025. On the Magic, lunch is at Lumiere's. On the Fantasy, it's at Royal Court. On the Wonder, lunch is at Triton's. On the Dream, it's at Royal Palace. And on both the Wish and the Treasure, lunch is at 1923. While I highly recommend the embarkation day lunch, you are not required to attend. If you want to skip it and head straight to the pool, you can do that. If you want to go to the concierge lounge instead, that's an option too. Lunch is served until 2 p.m., so if you board early, you could always return and have lunch a little later. Okay, let's talk about the meal itself. You'll be able to choose from appetizers, soups, entrees, desserts, no sugar added desserts, and a children's menu. Like with any other meal in the main dining rooms, lunch is all you can eat, and children can order from the adult menu, and adults can order from the children's menu. The menu is similar to the one served to non concierge guests on embarkation day. Additions to the menu for concierge guests include the poached lobster salad, the beef tenderloin, and the warm molten pot dessert. Now, I always order the same items: the beef empanada, the seafood gumbo, the Caesar salad with chicken, and the cookies and cream cheesecake. This menu hasn't changed in several years, and I'm okay with that because I really look forward to the items I just listed. We've talked about the additional menu items, but another perk to the concierge embarkation day lunch is that beer and wine are included. Of course, you can always order soft drinks, tea, and coffee. But for concierge guests, there is also a selection of complimentary alcoholic drinks available at this lunch. Keep in mind that you will not meet your server team at this lunch. The servers at this lunch are usually from the adults only dining restaurants. This means that if you have a food allergy or dietary restriction, they haven't been informed ahead of time and you will need to let them know before you order. As someone with a food allergy, I have never had an issue with this. In fact, the first question the server always asks is if someone in our party has an allergy or dietary restriction, and they are wonderful about accommodating me. You will officially meet your concierge team at this lunch. A member of the team will come to your table to discuss your party's itinerary and review what you have booked for each day of your cruise. They will also ask if you want to make any changes or additions. Let's say you forgot to book the Royal Gathering. Yes, I'm speaking from experience. Our concierge team got on their walkie talkies, and within a few minutes, it was added. That's another perk to sailing concierge. Several onboard activities are held back for concierge guests to add last minute. And yes, this includes specialty dining like Palo or Enchanté. Now, your concierge team cannot guarantee that they can get you these bookings as they are limited, but they will try as hard as they can to make it happen. If you skip the embarkation lunch and go straight to the concierge lounge, you can still enjoy food and drinks. The food will be a variety of small bites, but depending on your appetite, you may be able to make a meal out of it. While items can vary, you typically see grilled chicken sandwich sliders, California veggie sliders, lemongrass marinated shrimp, chilled beef tenderloin salad, fresh fruit, strawberry and vanilla panna cotta, tiramisu verrine, and cookies. Soft drinks, juice boxes, tea, and coffee are available, as well as beer, wine, and champagne. In fact, you will be encouraged to indulge in a champagne toast. Alcohol is only available until 2 p.m. Then you'll have to wait until 5 p.m. for happy hour. Complimentary smoothies are also available on Wish class ships. A member of the concierge team will be in the lounge and can review your itinerary with you. So if you need to make changes but you're skipping the lunch, no worries. Someone will be able to assist you. Additionally, you can go to the concierge lounge after your embarkation lunch. This is a good option if you are waiting for your stateroom to be ready. All staterooms are scheduled to be ready by 1:30 p.m., with concierge rooms available first. Another perk. But if your room isn't ready by the time you finish lunch, you can hang out in the lounge for a while and have another drink. There you have it, friends. An overview of Embarkation Day as a concierge guest with Disney Cruise Line. Hopefully, this gives you a better understanding of some of the perks of sailing concierge. See you in the next video.